I'm sorry, that was out of place.
I know there's much curiosity about me. Much tittle-tattle. Huh? It's true, many of the high notes are lost to me. And sometimes more. Both good days and bad days. And it doesn't affect me, though, as you might think. You see, all of the music that I write, I can hear. In my mind. I know the sounds that every instrument can make. I can hear them all. In a trio, quartet, orchestra, it's all there. It's all there. In my head.
One of the pieces that Beethoven was working on during this time was his Pastoral Symphony, music which does, I think, express his deepest sense of loss for the sounds of nature that he'd soon not be able to hear. The countryside, for so many 19th century composers a source of inspiration, was for Beethoven a place where man could encounter God. Although large public orchestral concerts were rare in the early 19th century, Beethoven's fame secured him a night in Vienna's most popular theatre, just before Christmas 1808. Even today, this concert seems like an extraordinary event. Just imagine being present at the public premiere of 5 major Beethoven works, including the Fifth Symphony, Pastoral Symphony, the Fourth Piano Concerto, some of the most famous music in history. For Beethoven, the concert was an important personal statement. He was saying, just look at what I'm capable of.
And the whole of Vienna wanted to see how he had refined his gift. And of course they wanted to see the famous Beethoven himself. Well, he realized that this concert was very important for his reputation and for his financial situation as well.
Beethoven decided to start the concert with the Pastoral Symphony. It was his way of easing the audience into an evening which would become increasingly challenging. Challenging not just for the concertgoer, but for the orchestra as well. With just one rehearsal for the musicians to learn the music, the tension before the concert was palpable.
Stop! What's wrong? What's the matter? What markings have you got here? Why have you stopped? Really sick creatures. Come on. I know it's early. Again.
Well, he didn't make it easier for himself or others.
Why have you stopped? What's wrong with you people?
Beethoven's conducting style was so wild and hard to follow, and he was so demanding that eventually the orchestra refused to play if he was present. It was left to the unfortunate Ries to act as go-between.
Sir, they say there is too much. There is so much new work, and it is too difficult.
Beethoven, you know we only have one rehearsal, and the orchestra are merely human.
Just tell them to play it exactly as I have written it.
The orchestra eventually got through the enormous repertoire planned for the concert, and on a freezing cold December evening, hundreds of people flocked to an unheated Viennese theatre to see and hear the city's most famous resident. After the evocative lyricism of the Pastoral Symphony, Beethoven assaulted his audience with the violent Fifth Symphony, a kind of electric shock therapy. Starting with those four powerful notes. The Fifth Symphony is really an exercise in compression, in stark contrast to the Sixth Symphony, the Pastoral, which takes the same opening rhythmic fragment and expands it. It's interesting to look at these two symphonies side by side, and that's how Beethoven saw them, very much as a pair. And where the Sixth Symphony is lyrical and expansive, the Fifth Symphony is brutal and compact and lacking in any obvious melody. And unlike any symphony that had gone before, the whole piece is one through line towards the exultant finale. Beethoven uses a variety of musical devices to bring about this tremendous sense of climax, but none more so than the use of that opening rhythmic device. It's everywhere, and in fact it pervades his entire compositional output. Near the end of the third movement, the scherzo, Beethoven strips the music right back, the timpani just keeping that rhythmic cell ticking away. And it's out of this sparse sound world that the fourth movement erupts, pushing decibel levels to new heights. You hear piccolo and trombones for the first time in a symphony, and the whole orchestra explodes in this climactic finale, where Beethoven is taking us from minor to major, from darkness to a blaze of light.